He's an introvert, interviewing strangers from the internet, knocking down the walls of his comfort zone, one conversation at a time. This is the Gary Cantrell Podcast.
And welcome back. Yes, it's another week, another podcast. I'm back here for you. And this week, man, I'm excited to talk to this gal, Katelynn. Y'all know about her? Well, you will. I will. I'm so excited to hear her story. I've been following her now for a little bit of time here. Got to know her a little bit. I got a feeling about this podcast. I think it's going to be a really, really good one. So in just a moment, I'm going to bring her on. But first, I got to tell you about Patreon and my podcast producers, Daryl at Your Level Fitness, Kaitlyn at Kaitlyn Elise, 3 Y's in her name, folks. 3 times is awesome. You know the drill. Vanessa at Vanessa Ray's Journey, and Amanda at Mutts_and_Miles. A big thank you to those folks for helping out this show. It means the world to me. So if you want to check out this show 5 days early, if you want to hear it without all these little ads in it, if you want to hear it in a higher quality bit rate, if that's important to you, the best way to do that is patreon.com/Gary Cantrell. Join me over there and come see it for yourself. Test drive it for a month. See if it's for you. You can drop anytime. There is no obligation, no contractual obligation. And look, I get it. Times are tight. Money's tight. And if you really want to support this show, I can tell you of 2 ways that you can support this show without costing you a penny or even an extra penny. If you guys shop at Amazon, right? Some of you guys are on the Amazon. If you check out on my website, GaryCantrell.com, there is an Amazon link on there from your web browser, because I think that's the best way. But when you actually shop through Amazon using my link, I get like pennies on the dollar of what you spend. It doesn't cost you anything extra. They just give me a few pennies for referring you. So you can actually help out this show with stuff you were already going to buy. So that's one great way to support the show. If you need a direct link, I got you. DM me on Instagram. I'll send you the link. You can make this your homepage and do all your Amazon shopping through my link and help the show without costing you an extra penny that you were not already going to spend. How cool is that? And finally, the third way to help this show out is completely free. It costs you nothing but about a minute, maybe a minute and a half of your time. Head over to Apple Podcasts on your phone, your iPad, your Mac, your old ass PC from 2005 that's got iTunes on it. Yeah, it can probably do this as well. Open up the app, go to the podcast section, head over to the Gary Cantrell Podcast. I can give you a direct URL if you need it. DM me. I got links for you folks. I got all the links. It's just a DM away. All you got to do is hit me up and leave a review. This costs you absolutely nothing, but if you believe in the show like I know a lot of you do, this is one surefire way to support this show in more ways than you could possibly imagine. We know how much Apple puts a stock into the reviews. A lot of celebrities just bump to the front of the line. They already got a following. They say, oh, I'm going to start a podcast. It's all the rage. Overnight, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 listeners. Small creators like me, we're just left in the dust, baby. We got a fire show that the world is sleeping on. And the best way to get the word out is to leave a review. Head over there. And only, of course, if you genuinely get value out of the show. If you don't, I don't know why you're listening. But if you do, head over to Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review, and put a sentence or 2. What does the show do for you? What does the show mean to you? Help me to help you get all of your stories out there to a bigger audience and help me get this thing in front of more people. That's the goal. I've been at this for 13 years, busting my ass. And I finally think I figured out the formula. Now we just got to get it out there. Who's on board with me? Is it you? If you want to help this show, it costs you nothing. Just leave a quick review, please. 5 stars and a sentence or 2. A genuine sentence, not Gary is cool, LOLs. Just like, what does the show do for you? All right. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get Kaitlyn on the line now. Let's talk to her. Let's see what she's got going on. I'm really excited for this. Hello. How are
Hi.
you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. You know, I got to tell you, well, first of all, you know how this thing works? Like I hit record and we're just going. You know about all that, right?
Yep, all about it.
All right, perfect. I got to clarify because sometimes like I'll start like going and then like 10 minutes in, somebody will say, hey, are we recording? Like, did we already start? Like, I just want to make sure like everything's okay.
And it's like, no, we've been recording.
Yeah, no, we've definitely been recording. So now I was going to say that this actually worked out perfectly. So for people that don't know, you hit me up and you were like, yo, like I'm running a little bit late. And I'm like, okay, nah, no problem. Like everything's all good. And so my wife hits me up and she's like, hey babe, I'm running late. Like I have our dinner, I have Chipotle coming and I'm running a little bit behind. And then so she gets in right around 6. And then I was like, this worked out perfectly because I got to eat dinner before the podcast. And now here we are.
That's awesome. At least you got to eat. Yeah, my dinner should be on its way at some point, whatever. But I'm in no rush to eat because I'm not even really that hungry. But I'm glad you got to eat. Yeah, Long Island drivers, they start to panic the last 2 weeks of December because it's crunch time. So nobody knows how to drive. The left lane apparently is no longer the passing lane. It's now like anybody can go whatever speed they want lane. So, and then someone just had to get into an accident because they wanted to blow the red light. I was like, awesome. Thank you. This is wonderful. I wanted to sit in traffic for 10 minutes. How did you know? So,
Well, now, I thought all of you New Yorkers are like always in a panic and always moving, or is that just people in the city itself?
it's called the New York Minute because that's all we really have.
Yeah.
Even our piss takes 1 minute, not even. We pee,
Well,
we leave. That's it.
We've almost hit 2 minutes here, so I guess we're fucked. Like we got to end it right now, right?
Yeah, we gotta go. Like, boom, boom, podcast done. Shortest podcast ever, the best podcast ever. Boom, done. No.
Hard to top this one. Yep.
we set the bar high on this one.
Got that right.
No, but we do travel fast. I do have a habit of talking fast. I try to slow it down because I'm in not really customer service. I answer the phone for my company.
Yeah.
And they're like, can you slow down? And I'm just like, sorry, habit. And I'm like, oh, okay. So then I'm like talking slower.
Yeah.
But then I'm just like, I hope they don't think I think you're stupid because like now I'm talking really slow. Like I was like, oh man, I just can't win.
What industry are you in? Can you say what industry you work in?
Yeah, I work for a medical billing company.
Okay.
Yeah, for all the hospitals, we do collections, and if they did not give their insurance information at the time of service, they're able to give it to my company because we have an insurance department who bills out for them, and
Right.
we also deal with a lot of no fault and like workers' comp cases because people don't stay on top of that. And everyone thinks like a collections agency, oh my god, they're there to hurt my. Like no, we're actually the last resort before the attorneys come after you. So
Yeah.
like we're the last resort before our hospital. They're like, you know what? Take them to court and like you lose your house in a stupid battle. So we're the ones I explain it to everybody when they call in. I said I get how anxious you are. I said, however, we're not here to harm you. We're actually the last helpful resource you're going to have before it either goes on your credit, goes to the attorneys, or they start take garnishing your wages. And they're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, yes, see, we're not all bad. However, your cell phone collection agencies don't answer their phone calls. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. I was about to say I could see how they would want you to talk slower. Like I would think that like you're giving like some real detailed stuff on the phone there, and you sound like you have a very just like fun like personality, and you're talking kind of fast. You're very excited, and I could see how like details would get lost in the translation there.
Yes, because I'll talk way too fast, and I'll just be like, "Wait, what did you say?" And I'm like, "Oh, you're one of those. Okay, no problem." So I have to like start over, and then I'll be like, this is the website. And then I'm just like, I hope they don't I think they're stupid and I'm doing
Right.
this to be petty. I literally am just trying to talk slower so they understand what I'm saying, but it doesn't always work out that way. I got told go F myself one day. I got told nobody loves me. I was like, okay, that's great. Like, but my bills aren't in collections, so
Yeah, no, I've dealt with many collections people. I think I've talked about this on one or two of the podcasts before that I've done, but I have definitely been in that boat, and so I know what that is all about. I mean, that was my own doing, granted, but so I know what that life is all about. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I mean, I try to explain to people. I'm like, listen, like, I don't, because I remove it off of the people's credit, actually. Like, if it's on their credit, I go into the system and I talk to TransUnion. So I'll tell them like, listen, if you come into my office and pay cash, I'll have it removed off your credit in 24 hours. And they're like, done. So I'm like, okay, there you go. Win-win for everybody.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm probably the guy that you would call for your like a routine call. And you're like, damn, that guy was awfully polite. What's this all about? I'm normally being cussed at. What's happening here? This guy told me to have a nice day.
Yeah, we have some of those people. I had someone tell me a Merry Christmas. I was like, oh, well, thank you. Same to you. And I was like, oh, you're my favorite.
These calls were coming in fast and furious for a while. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to kill these people with kindness. Like they're not going to know what to do.
Yeah, you're actually right, because they're so used to getting cursed at that it's just like, but you know what though, with us, it's like you could scream at us all you want. Like we're still going home. Like I'm still gonna continue on with my life.
Yeah, you're gonna get a good night's sleep tonight.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not the one sweating because my medical bills are in collections, but that's cool. Like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. How long have you been in that industry?
4 years.
Wow.
I started late in life. Yeah, if you ask my mother, she will tell you she didn't have terrible twos. She had terrible 22s. I rebelled late in life. And I dropped out of college. I kind of just like, you know what, this isn't for me. Mentally, I'm not there to take any information. I'm going to be wasting everybody's time. I'm going to be wasting everybody's money. I've already done that. So to avoid that further, I'm just going to stop going to school until I figure out what I'm going to do. So 6 months turned into a year turned into 2 years. And then 2 years turned into 2.5 years. And then something was like, I gotta do something because I'm getting older now, and working at the YMCA and working, all these like 3 jobs, like 2 retail and 1, it's just not working for me. I was like, I need something, because there's like 24-year-olds. I was at the time I was 24. I'm like, there's 24-year-olds who are like buying their first car, not the car that their parents hand me down. It's like their first car. And like this one's getting an apartment. I'm just like, damn, like I'm really starting late. So I left the boyfriend I was with because he was nothing but toxicity, and
yes.
went into business. Like it was like a trade school. For 12 months I was business office administration. So for 12 months at Hunter Business School, I did that, and I actually graduated early because my studies and my attendance were so well that if you get offered a job within the last 3 months of you going to school there, you can graduate early and then just work, and then until you have the ceremony, you can come back for the ceremony. And because I was one of those people, I got offered a job about 3.5 months before I finished school. They said, okay, here's your certificate. You graduated. We'll see you in 3 months for the actual ceremony, but you completed Hunter Business School. And I graduated with like a 3.2 GPA, 3.2, which was actually very well for me. So
I see you flexing over there. I got you.
Yeah, flexing mind, body, and soul. Got to flex them all. But
that's what's up.
And then just started working at I went through some hiccups trying to find a knack. Because some jobs on Long Island, they feel threatened by you, so they'll like fire you or let you go for just some random excuse. Like I was let go of my first full-time job I graduated with the job that I got, and then I left there because I wasn't growing within the company.
Yeah.
So then I got another job in the medical field to test that out. And then the operations manager was very threatened by me because of my work ethic. So she made up some whatever reason that what I was doing wasn't working. Meanwhile, mine was the most organized that they've had. So I was like, okay. And then I was unemployed for about 6 months, and then I found the job I'm currently at now, and I've been there for 4 years. And then 2 out of those 4 years, I actually got promoted because I walked in and I was like, so is there growth in the company or should I? And they were like, oh, you want to grow? We got you. No problem. So they actually created a position for me. And then unfortunately we had to do cutbacks. So we let the girl go who replaced me. So I'm doing my new job plus the administrative job as well. So, but yeah, for 4 years I've been doing the same stuff, and it's been working. It's been an experience.
Right. And what brought you to like the business school? Did you always have like aspirations to do something like a business related? Like, was that the plan all along, or did it?
No, this is still a dream of mine. So I'm really hoping that I get this done in my lifetime.
Let's hear it.
My heart is actually with military veterans.
Okay.
And rehabilitating them, because I come from a long line of military family. My grandparents met and fell in love in World War II. My uncle served, my mom served, my cousin served. So I come from a very long line. Even my great uncle, we come from a long line of proud, Americans and proud family members. And like, I'm blessed with my family. Not everybody can say that, but I'm blessed. But my heart is with that because we ship these kids off at 18, 19 years old, and we teach them how to kill, and we teach them how to, like, this is the enemy and this is the target. And then when they're done serving, we're just like, oh, you have PTSD? Here's like $1,000 in some medication. Good luck. And like we don't take the time to be like, okay, you suffer from this, this, and this. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna put you in this program, away from this, in this area. And like my dream is to have, because I love animals. So my dream is to have almost like a sanctuary.
Yeah.
And then what they would do is like almost like pit bulls and parolees, but it would be different animals. It would be horses, it'd be cows, it would be pigs, it would be lambs, it would be special needs animals. And then I would actually have in within the house of the within the property would be just courses to get back into school. So it would be like the educational classes of like typing again and keyboarding 101, and I would teach them how to go on interviews again. Pretty much what I learned in my business school how to do, I would incorporate with the veterans and find out where their strengths were and then try to help them find a job in that field from my rehab. So it's like a whole process.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's like, these men and women go out to war, they give their bodies and their lives, and they come back, and it's like the equivalent of like a taxi or bus just dropping them off on the corner and saying, all right, well, here you go. And, they just don't have, it's sometimes the direction is not always as easy. So, I mean, I think it sounds like a hell of an idea, and I hope that you go for it, honestly.
Yeah, everyone's telling me, oh, you should get the military involved. You should get the government involved. And I'm like, well, A, I don't like the government because they're just not doing right by anybody. And I said, and B, if the government gets their hand in my idea, they're going to tell me what veterans I could take, what animals I could take, how much money I have to spend, what medicines I can give.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't want to be controlled. Like, I'm actually here to help these people. Like, that's my goal. Like, I want to have a psychologist on staff, a chef on staff. I want to have a acupuncturist on staff and a doctor on staff, so that like if they need medical at 3 a.m. because they have the shakes and their PTSD is kicking in, I don't want them to lose their mind and then like digress. Like, I want to be able to have people there, and this way it's just like, okay, we're here to help you, and it's just like we're actually there helping them, not just like putting them in a psych ward and calling it a day, which is sad. And you know what it is? It's 22 a day. 22 veterans kill themselves every day, and it's just like I think it's 22 a day.
Yeah.
And it's just it's something that like it sickens me because a lot of these people give their mind, body, soul, spirit, to protect their families over here, and then when they're over here, they just don't know how to function, and it's really, really sad.
No, this is very true. Well, it's a good thing you're savvy with social media. You should probably have like an account created where you can talk about these things, post kind of like memes with statistics, and maybe just reach out and try to help some of these people. I think that'd be a great idea, personally.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to get into the VA because that's where I'm gonna get the veterans, and then this is where I'll be able to pick apart the brains and ask them like, listen, what do you wish you had when you first got out of service and came back home? Like what's a good word for it? What tools or what did you wish you had what did you wish you had accessible, like I said, accessibility to? Like
right.
What resources did you wish you had that you were able to come home to? Like, was it therapy? Was it medicine? Was it just how to go into the workforce again after learning how to shoot people? Like what did you wish you had when you came out of service that we didn't have, that we failed you by? And then like if I get feedback, then I'll know what I need to have to make this program work for me and for the veterans.
I think that's so solid. I love that. I mean, anytime people are talking about like, I want to help others, I'm just drawn into that, because it's like why I do this, and I'm like terrified. I mean, you should have seen me before we got on the call. Like anytime I get on the call with somebody new, I'm pacing around the house because I'm like Mr. Nervous, and I'm introverted in nature. And so there's always that bit of nervousness, but I created this podcast to have people come on and share their stories in hopes that, other people hear it and it helps other people. So I'm drawn into anytime somebody's like, I want to help others, like that draws me right in.
Well,
So
I think what you're doing is awesome. I commend you for what you're doing. I think what you're doing is awesome. So, and I mean, I'm a dope girl, so there's no reason for you to be nervous. I'm a cool chick.
well, no, that's all that is very, very true. But I don't care who I'm getting on the phone with.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, if they're brand new, like it is tough. I got to tell you, I don't know what it is, and I hope that 2 or 3 more years down the line, this is not going to be a problem. Well, it's not even really a problem because I start the call and we do it and everything's fine. It's just the buildup, and that's the one thing that is just like, oh my god, But some people say like if you don't get like the butterflies, if you don't get the nervous before you do things that you love, like I love doing the podcast, and they say you're probably not, fully into it.
Right. And I'll give you some advice that my therapist, I'll give her a shout out, Ann Chapney from Greenlawn.
What's up?
She's awesome. She gave me a piece of advice that I live by, and it is none of my business what other people think of me. And I say that mantra before I even go into my gym. And I know my work, like I know the people who work there, I know them. I made them pumpkin bread and I brought it there. And it's Planet Fitness, which I think is a great beginner gym. I don't care what anybody says.
I love Planet Fitness. Are you kidding me?
I love Planet Fitness. I think it is a perfect beginner gym for you to do what you need to do. And people were like, oh, well, you can't bring your own equipment there. And I was like, watch me. Because I invested in new glute bands. And I also invested in ankle straps because the ones at Planet Fitness, unfortunately, if they sweat, I don't like germs. I don't like feeling cold sweat, especially if it's not mine. So the one time I went to go use the ankle straps, they were sopping wet. I was like, nope, not doing it. No,
Yuck.
not doing it. I was like, oh my God. Oh, and some guy saw my face and he started laughing and he was like, I get you, girl. And I was like, I'm going to do squats. I'm good. Like, I'll do that another time. Like, no, thank you. I was like, I almost hurled. I was like, oh my God. Like, how can you live with yourself, you messy? So I invested in these really cool ankle straps. And I asked my Planet Fitness, I said, listen, not for nothing. I said, A, I'm a germaphobe. I said, B, I said, I brought my own ankle straps. It said, you're fine. We don't care. We know you're here doing your own thing.
Yeah.
We know you're not here talking. Like, you do you, girl. And I was like, I love you. I love you all. Like, yes, you my peoples. So they see me now and they're just like, oh, you got your hydro jug now? And I'm like, yeah, I got my hydro jug, olive green. And they're a great group of people. And they make me feel safe. Like if I go in there, I'm having a bad day, they're all like, you're going to kill it today. And I'm just like, thanks guys. And like, they'll see me to be like, we told you killed it. And I'm like, yeah, I worked out a lot of my stress today. Like we know, we can say it in your face.
Oh yeah. So I love them. I think they're a great gym. I've been with them now for nearly 3 years. It'll be 3 years in another week. And they're fantastic. Now, the people that go to Planet Fitness at times, they
not so much.
Let me tell you, this will be kind of fun. You'll give me your side, the female side. I'll give you the male side, the locker rooms. Let's go there. Let me tell you what. There is one guy who goes and he gets his shower and then he gets changed and he has like dry cleaning like every day. So I know this guy must be rolling in the dough, but he leaves his hangers all over the goddamn stall, like in the little changing stall. Now I like to change in the changing stall. I don't like to change in the main room because I like to take my time. I like to stretch out. And there's, in the main room, there's people just coming in and out the whole time. So for me, like, I just want to be in a spot where nobody else is in there and I'll go in that stall. But this guy, like, he leaves his hangers. Like when I say hangers, I'm talking like 8 freaking hangers. Like, I don't know what 8 things he's putting on his body in one given dressing. And then you have the people that like leave their like half used bars of soap in the middle of the shower floor.
Oh God, I can't. Or they leave the hair that they've taken that from what? Oh, I can't. And they leave it right where the soap is. And you're just like, are you walking? And all you see is the hair. And you're like, nope, I'm going to work smelly. I got this. It's cool. Like
Band-Aids that are left on the floor or in the little soap tray. Just all this stuff. Like, I mean, you could probably, I'm sure you have a couple of good ones about the women in the locker room, but the men are like, they're trifling. Like I cannot, yes, I really just did use that word, but it could be pretty rank in there at times.
Yeah, I feel actually the women's is not so bad, at least the times I go, but I probably go when like the crazies are gone. So, but I will tell you about the people I do see working out there, the women I do working out there. Now, where I live, there's a mixture of people. There's young, there's old, there's Hispanic, there's white, there's black, there's everything. So we all work together. Like it's great. I love it. But there are some women, and God, thank God I don't know her, but I feel bad because I've watched her and she means well.
Yep.
And you know the butterfly chest machine?
Yes.
Okay. You know how you're supposed to move the handles to the far back when you're going to work your rear delts?
Right.
Okay. She didn't move the arms all the way to the back. So I'm on the Stairmaster one day and I'm watching, just looking around, perusing what machine can I hit first? Like, who can I target first? Seeing if they're actually on the machine or working or not. Cause that's a pet peeve of mine. Like, I don't care if you're going to the gym. Like, that's awesome. You're bettering yourself. Awesome. But if you're sitting on the adductor for like 25 minutes watching a YouTube video, I'm going to say something to you. Like, I'm going to give you the dirtiest look. I'm going to come off with the illest attitude and let you know, bro, like, you have been wasting time at this point. Like, now it's my turn to use the machine. So, and Kayla, she kills me because when we work out together on Thursdays.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Unfortunately, today was my fault. I forgot that I put it for 6:00. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm such a goober. And she's like, girl, it's okay. Like, I love you. Like, it's awesome. And so we work out a lot, like almost every Thursday, except for like holidays or when she was on vacation.
Yeah.
And the first leg day we did together, there was a group of these two goobers. And first of all, you're a guy. Why are you on the adductor machine? Why do you want a gap between your thighs? For what? Like, why do you as a male need a gap for your thighs? First of all, I wouldn't date a man that has a gap between his thighs. That makes me feel like I can't sit on his lap or place animals on his lap. Like, that's concern for me. Like, I can't fit 5 puppies on your lap. There's a problem. So they were just sitting there. They were on like, I think 10, maybe. So Kayla's like, okay, we'll just switch. We'll wait for them to be done. And then you'll hop on my machine. I'll hop on there and we'll go from there. I'm like, yeah, cool. No problem. Bet. Awesome. I'm working my calves. And it's a good 10 minutes now. And we're like, all right, what are these? So we look over and they're not even working. They're like talking, bullshitting, probably waiting for a squat rack to open. So Kayla goes over. She goes, are you going to be done? I lost it. I couldn't stop laughing. She takes out her earbud with her swag hand and goes, are you going to be done? Because, we're waiting to use. He's like, yeah. She goes, okay, because, we're waiting. We're waiting. And I just couldn't keep it in. I just couldn't stop laughing. I just couldn't.
I'm dead right now. Let me just tell you what.
Like, I love you. You're my fierce queen. I was thinking it, and then as I'm thinking it, she's like, are you gonna be done? I couldn't even handle it. I was like, girl, you are the shit. Like, I love you to so many extremes right now.
Here's the thing. I believe that we chatted 2 nights ago.
I heard.
And I believe it. Like, hearing her story and hearing how she is and her walk through life, like what you just said, I'm like, yep, that checks out. Oh my goodness.
And her journey, it's so funny. She inspired me. We live on the same island. Her sister-in-law actually used to train me in 2014 for a small brief time.
Okay.
And she actually didn't know her wife at the time. So then last year when she was doing her journey, I discovered it because it was like, oh, people you should see. And she was actually trending on my page. And I'm like, oh, what's this? Like, let me click and see. And I was like scrolling and I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like, this is awesome. And I wasn't really in a good mindset to really see what she was doing. It was just kind of like another page to follow at the point.
Yeah.
So I followed it and I'm watching her and I'm like, okay, she's doing it. And I'm like, all right. And I wasn't actually in the beginning of her journey. I actually was like followed her towards the tail end of it. And so I had a lot of catching up to do when I found her Instagram page. And when I found her page, it's very difficult in the weight loss community when you're just starting to find somebody with the same build, same height, same body, like just
Right.
anything remotely close to you. Kayla was it for me. I was like, oh my gosh, she's 3 inches shorter than me. She is 2 pounds, 2 or 3 pounds lighter than me. And I'm like, and she did this in a year? What am I doing? Like, what's my excuse? Like, shit. So my boyfriend at the time, he actually walked out on me. We were going through some issues and he moved out. And for the first 2 weeks, I was like sulking, pity party, just binge eating, just like waiting to die at that point. Cause I was like, nobody's going to love me. Like
Right.
5 years down the drain. Like, what am I doing? Like, it was mortifying. I was like, what did I, like, what I messed up one time and he took that as like, I need to go figure myself out. And I'm like, bro, the amount of times you've hurt me, like I never once walked out on you. Like, what? So I was like, okay, go do you, because I am not one to mess with free will. Like, if you want to go, go. Like, I wish you the best of luck.
Sure.
You know, like, it is what it is. So he moved out. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm done sulking. And it was October 7th. I woke up, I weighed myself, and I was like, this is the last day I'm going to be 271. And that was it. I found her page and she really motivated me because, of course, the one line in her bio, which really sticks with me, time is going to pass anyway. That's exactly how I saw it. And here I am. It's literally almost the end of December. I've gone to the gym more times than in the 2 months that I've been in this journey. I've gone to the gym more times ever in my life. Like, this is incredible. She's so right. Time really is going to pass anyway because we're almost to the end of December. And I'm like, holy shit, thank God I've been going to the gym and not sitting on my ass wasting time. Like, oh my gosh, like I feel good about my time passing by now. I don't feel like, oh, another day wasted. I'm like, yeah. You know what? I went to the gym. I did this and tomorrow's a new day.
No, you're right. And it's a good thing you didn't wait, because a lot of people, they'll wait to the new year. And I get that. I get that mindset, but some people will do that. And, going back to what you're saying before, sometimes it takes like a hard thing in life to come up, like, the loss of a loved one or breaking up with somebody or losing a job. Like, it could be any number of things. And that is the thing that motivates you to get started. I mean, for instance, I could tell you that, I was married once before and it did not work out. And, me and my ex, she went her way, I went mine, and I've checked in on her a couple times over the years. We're still friendly, and she's fucking killing it, man. Like, I'm like, she lost a bunch of weight on her own. She graduated top of her class. She's got a new husband and a kid, and I couldn't be more happier from her. It's like, we all at times will go through some of the roughest shit, and it really is the time for us to do our ultimate rising and shining, for lack of a better term, because it's these hard things that come in life that make us, that for whatever reason motivates us to want to do more.
Exactly. And it's so funny because the more Kayla and I got to know each other, because we went in as like just looking for gym buddies. Like, she put up a post that Tuesday that she started her journey, like if anyone's on Long Island and wants to come with me on my regular gym days. And I was like, me. We had no idea that we were going to get like so much more out of just looking for a gym buddy. Like, we got a friendship out of one another. Like, we have confidence in one another. Like I go to her with anything, like confidant. I go to her about anything. I have my best friend Tony that I go to as well, but it's nice to have a different perspective on some things, especially since she does see me more than my best friend Tony, because she unfortunately moved to South Carolina. And the more Kayla and I started talking, the more I was like, holy cow, like we almost have a similar life. There was some difference. I was raised by a single parent for 17 years. And then my mom met my stepdad, and he was just a remarkable human being. Like, there is nobody like my father, Jack Leslie. There was nobody like my father, Jack Leslie. And when we lost him unexpectedly in May 2018, you would have thought that would have been like the nudge to get my weight under control, and that nudge to be like, okay, like, now it's crunch time because life really is short and you just unexpectedly lost your father. And so I was like, no, I took the wrong route about it. Luckily I actually discovered my half brother 3 days before I lost my dad. So it was almost as like the universe was like, okay, I'm going to like rock your world in a negative way, but I'm going to give
Yes.
you a consolation prize in the beginning, so it doesn't really rock you that bad. And I've been looking for my brother for like 13, 14 years, and I found him on Facebook. I just so happened to look, and he actually, his how I found him is a whole other story, but he's just, I look like him, and he's my brother, and I'm his sister, and it's just like he entered my life, and I lost my dad. So it just was like a whirlwind. And instead of taking that as like, okay, let me better myself, I took that as that's going to be my crutch for the next year. Like my attitude is this is why. And I used that as a crutch, and it was the worst thing I could have done. I mean, grief hit me hard because it really was an unexpected loss. He was there that morning, and then he was gone that afternoon. And I found out at work.
Right.
Of all places to find out, I found out on Facebook at my job. Go figure. So
now that's tough. Yeah.
I didn't take that as like I didn't take it as well as I should have. I should have but I really shut down in that moment. And it's funny how like life will use certain things to shake your foundation to be like, listen, you're not going to live past 30 if you keep living the way you're living.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it didn't take me losing my dad, but it did take, getting walked out on to realize like what I was doing wasn't working. But better late than never. But there are situations that arose with Kayla now in my life, after I lost my dad, and I would go to her situation, she'd be like, no, this is what you say. And I'm like, thank you, got you. Because I'm too nice. I'm in a good place where I'm all about healing. So I'm healing my mental state, I'm healing my physical state, I'm healing my spirit. I'm literally taking back all the love I was giving all the wrong people and finally giving it to myself. And she's helping me keep accountable to that, because old me would have been like, oh yes, please come do this with me, and they get sucked into a negative vortex, and then all my work would have gone down the toilet. And Kayla keeps me accountable. She's like, nope, this is misery loves company, don't do it. And I'm like, you're right, I got this. So she keeps me accountable in more ways than one, not only just with the gym, but like with life in general as well. So, and it's so funny because she's younger than me, but you could never tell. Because her just the way she thinks, the way she speaks is someone older, is someone not of her generation. So it makes life easier. Makes everything easier.
Well, and you said something really key there too, talking about loving yourself. And I'm a firm believer of the importance of that. And sometimes people take it the wrong way. They're like, oh, that's an ego thing. Like, no, it's not. Like, you have to love yourself, because if you don't love yourself and if you don't get your mental head right, like you can't fix all these other things, like whether it be weight loss or getting your job straight, or if you're like me, getting yourself out of debt, like whatever it is, like you gotta I believe that life should be built upon 4 pillars, and that's patience, consistency, hard work, and self-love. And if you don't love yourself, it's game over. Like, you're not going to get anywhere if you don't love the person that you are, if you don't get comfortable with the skin that you're in. It's over before it even gets started.
Oh, absolutely. And I love that 4 pillars. I love that. Yeah. I love that a lot. But my brother actually said something to me. He goes, and it was in my bio for a while before I took back all the love I was giving the wrong people and gave it to myself. And it was become your why. And my brother Alex told me that in the beginning. He goes, find your why and discover it. Hold on, my cats are being reckless. He was like, find your why. He's like, find your why and run with it. And I was like, I don't really know what that means, Yoda. And he's like, no, find your why. And then when you find your why, everything will make sense. And I'm like, dude, like, what? Like, what did you smoke? Like, I want some. Like, Are you like, is this your third eye talking? But like, what? But no, he was being real. And then when I finally got on my journey, I did a lot of thinking. I started going to CODA meetings, which is Codependency Anonymous meetings.
Right.
Because unfortunately, because I was with the same guy for 5 years, I did become very codependent on him. If he wasn't doing something, I wouldn't do it. If he didn't want to go to the gym with me, I wasn't going. Like, I've tried and failed this gym thing so many times. So it's like, it took me really just to go into a whole nother mindset to realize it wasn't just like a gym thing. It's literally a transformation. It's a journey.
So you were essentially attached to the hip with this guy, like whatever his vibe was giving off, that's what you were all about.
Yep. And if it was a negative energy that day, I was in a negative mood that day. And if he was okay, then I was okay. If like something pissed him off, I was like, wait, what is like when he moved out, I literally was just like took a step back, which I did never done in the 5 years we've been together. And I
Right.
took a step back and I was like, I really, really lost myself in this relationship, which I used to pride myself on not doing. And because we've had issues like every couple has, instead of like addressing it and then handling it the way that I would now, I was always like, okay, well, if I'm always with him, he won't be doing the bad stuff he was doing. Or if I'm always with him, he won't have the opportunity to do this. So that's what it was more along the lines of. It's like, I'll constantly be with you because then you're giving me the attention. And it was like, that's not healthy. Like, that is not healthy at all. Cause I'd be
No.
doing things I didn't want to do. I'd be doing things instead of being home. And then I was losing myself. I was losing, my interest, like everything that I did apparently would piss him off because I was always up his butt. And it was just like, it took a toll. It took a toll on me a lot. And I finally was able to think back and take a step back and look back and reflect on everything. And it was just like, wow, yeah, I really got to change. And started going to coded meetings, which were a big, big help. Started seeing my therapist, who's been amazing, and really got my mind right because you're 100% correct. If you're not doing something mentally about like your mental health, if you're not doing anything about your mental health and you suffer from depression, anxiety, anything that, which put you in a mood or keep you in bed or just not make you feel good about yourself or anything or anybody or anything, it's, you're really going to fail because when I tried going to the gym thousands of times, it's an exaggeration, but like plenty of times, I always failed because I would refuse to see a therapist to deal with my inner demons and my inner issues and, my fears and the things that my biological father left scarred in me. And, when I started seeking the mental help, the going to the gym was a lot easier and doing my reps was a lot easier and spending an hour or two at the gym was a lot easier once I started seeking mental help. So it really is amazing how it all ties in together. It really, really is. But the self-love, I used to refuse to give that to myself because I was like, I'm not conceited. I don't need to I love myself, but like, I'm not in love with like, I didn't understand the meaning up until all I had to do was love myself. Like, that's all I had. All I had to do was love myself. And when the love got taken away from me that I was giving somebody else, and I was like, I have all this love. What am I supposed to do with it? And it literally was like, life was like, give it to yourself. Like,
Yes.
I took him away from you so you
Hoard
can
that
give the
shit.
love. Yeah, it was exactly that. It was like, I took him out of the picture. So the love you're giving him, you can put into yourself. Like, all this effort and love you're putting into this relationship, if you only put into yourself the things you could accomplish, Kaitlyn. And I was like, oh shit, you're so right.
Right. No,
So
yeah.
then I started taking that love and I was like, okay, we're going to do it this way, one day at a time. And it was tough in the beginning, even going to the gym. Like, I remember I cried the first day I went to the gym. I was crying the whole time I was putting on my gym outfit. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to, like, my socks. I'm like, my fucking sock. Like, oh my God, like, I don't even match my pants. My pants are black. What doesn't go with black? Like, really? I was just throwing a fit. Like, I was like, I'm going to go, but I'm not going to go for long. I got there and I was like, I stayed there for 2 hours and it was the best 2 hours of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so much to unpack with all that. I heard you say earlier something about, being raised by a single parent. And let me tell you, I've been there. My mother worked 3 jobs at one point to support her and I because my biological father was not in the picture. He was there at times, but he really wasn't. And to this day, I still don't have a relationship with him. And so I can identify with that for sure.
Yeah. My mom, she's my hero. If Superwoman was real, she would be my mother. Because she's an angel on earth. Not only is she now retired, she does TNR, which is trap, neuter, return for the feral cat colonies on Long Island. If people dump cats, she's trapping them and getting them into fosters or rescue so they can live their life. She's educating people on how to take care of feral cat colonies. Like, she's making a difference here. But it wasn't always like that. Before she met my father, she was always there. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell that I came from only a single parent until I told you, or only my mom came to pick me up.
Right.
Or if they were like, oh, where's your father? I'd be like, I don't have a dad. They'd be like, what? I'd be like, yeah, it's just my mom and I. They'd be like, you're so well dressed. You're so well mannered. Like, like I never fit the statistic of how a quote unquote single child should look or should be. And my mom worked six jobs at one point, because I was in high school and prom was coming up and graduation was coming up, and she didn't want me to be like, oh, I can't go to prom because I can't afford the ticket, or I can't go to prom because I can't afford the dress. My mom made sure that if I wanted a dress, here's the money. If I wanted to go to summer camp, here was the money. Like I had a normal life as if I had two parents.
Yeah.
So my mom really, like, if I am half the mother she is, I'm set. I'm so set. She's just, I look at her and I'm just like, shit, like, how did you work six jobs?
Yeah.
Like, I'm tired and I have two and one's only a seasonal job, but I'm like tired after that. Like, you work six, like, shit, but a mother's love is not anything to be tampered with. That's for sure.
Definitely not. And how long before your biological father walked out of the picture? How long was he around for?
Oh, he was gone. He was I found out my mom kept a lot of things from me when I was a child. She knew from the very beginning I was very smart. I was speaking at 2. I was saying full sentences at 2 years old. People thought I was like a tiny human. They thought I was like a little person, to be politically correct, I guess. And my mom's like, no, that's just my daughter. She's 2 years old. She's very well spoken, very well mannered. Because my mom never babied me. She was always like, my mom was like, Kaitlyn, no. And I was like, okay, like that's a no then. Like, So my mom's story is, and I believe her, because at first, like, my dad, I'll call him Jose or whatever his name is, Izzy. I'll call him Izzy. He told me the story that, my mom kicked him out. And then when I just found out when my brother and I met last December, I got the real story. And apparently he was not a good man. He did not come from a line of, like, a good line of people. My great grandfather apparently was like a murderer in our country, which is El Salvador.
Right.
So he did not come from a good upbringing. He didn't know love. He didn't know good discipline. He didn't really. So I get it. I see it now. I see why he has issues. Okay. But apparently he threw a knife at my mother and he cut her cheek, and she was living on the military base, Governor's Island at the time. It's now, it's now owned by Wildlife Preserve, whatever it is, or whatever, New York State. I don't really know. I don't. Just turn the other eye. But like now it's just like people can go there and look at things and see the Statue of Liberty and whatever. And she actually had him escorted off of Governor's Island, and he was only allowed back on to see me for a couple of seconds. And as soon as he was leaving, my mom said to the soldiers that were escorting him out, she goes, take his military pass. He's not allowed back in my apartment. He's not allowed back to see my child. He's and that was it. Like she never saw him again. And I met him when I was 14, and I think that was the universe and God trying to give, because all I wanted was my dad to come home. Every birthday wish was, I want to see my real father. I want to see my real father. And it was almost as like the universe was like, all right, we're protecting you for a reason, but we're going to give you a small taste of why we're protecting you. So there was a brief time that I actually got to meet him.
Right.
He is not a good person. He is just not a good person at all. And the only thing I could say is thank you for creating me, but like, I'm good. Like, you could stay as far away from me as possible. Like, I'm glad you met my mom and made me, but like, that's all you're good for.
I gotta say though, there's something that you said that really stuck with me there. You're like, all I ever wanted was to see him for this or for that. It's like, I felt the same way. Like for a time, like it was almost like I had him on this pedestal. Like he was this mysterious person that, like, he was on this pedestal, and it's like, oh man, I can't wait until I get to see this guy again. And then time and time again, little things happen that, make you realize, like, okay, this is who this guy really is. And for me, it was like, I got married the first time, and he and I were not on talking terms. And about a year or so after we had reconnected, I had this crazy dream that today still sounds crazy to me, but had this dream. My grandmother, his mother, came to me in a dream and said, you got to make peace with him. You got to talk to him. So I called him and I actually told him about the dream. And of course he thought I was crazy. But you know,
I mean, I don't think you're crazy. I don't think you're crazy at all.
I appreciate it. I mean, it was real. Like I could smell her. I could feel her. That's how real. I woke up. I was bawling when I woke up from this dream. But here's the thing. Like I called him again in 2015 and I was like, yo, I'm getting married again. It's like, you know, we actually had a conversation at his house with my wife at the time. And it's like, man, I wish we were not on some bullshit and we could have had a drink together, you know, father, son, blah, blah, blah. And so imagine my excitement when I call him in the spring of 2015. Hey, guess what, Dad? I'm getting married. Like we have a second chance. We can have this drink together. We can do all these things, only for him to tell me I'm not going to be able to make it. He calls me 2 days before my birthday and says, I thought about it and I'm not going to be able to make it. Times are tough. This is coming from a guy who's like a hardcore fucking gambler, who's always at concerts. I mean, like, I know he's got money. And like, here's the thing. If his
priorities are messed up.
Exactly. Now, if I knew for a fact that he was actually struggling, like I would have flown him out here. I don't give a shit. Like to have that opportunity, right. Even after all the shit we've been through, like I would have said, yes, of course. Let me get him out here. I don't care how we do it. But like, he was just so much shutting it down. I'm like, you know what? Good luck to you. And that's right. That's how I felt about it. And the universe, honestly, it's crazy. The universe has been making me feel like I need to be pulled back into that direction. It's a weird feeling I can't describe. Maybe it's just like an every couple of year thing. I'm like, God, I just need to like talk to him and tell him how angry I am and all this stuff. And then other part of me is like, I just don't know that it's worth it. But then other part of me is like, he could die one day. And what if I don't have a chance to tell him how I feel and like all this stuff? And I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm ranting here. I'm sorry.
No,
but like,
it's
this
fine.
is just,
listen, I have the advice I have to give you is, because it's not with my father, because if I had the chance to say what I've been dying to say to him, I would.
Yes.
However, what I did is I wrote it in a letter and then I just ripped it up with my father. But I have an instance where, my the guy I was with for 5 years, his best friend, like he made it when we first started dating, he made it a priority that I needed to meet this girl. So I tried very hard to be her friend, be there for her. And she was not there for me when my dad died, which is a big no-no for anybody. Like that just speaks a lot about your character, speaks volumes of your character. And I don't care if we don't talk for years. If I find out you lose somebody, I'm commenting on your post. I'm so sorry for your loss. I'll send you flowers and I'll send you a card, because like that's just how I was raised. Like that's just me.
Yeah.
She did not do any of that. So I wrote her off. I'm just like, you know what? Like you just don't obviously respect me. So she got engaged recently in September and she invited me to like her engagement party. And when she asked me, what happened between us, I wanted to write everything down. And Jay was like, no. Just like, she's not going to get it. She's not going to get it. And I'm like, well, it doesn't matter if she gets it. I want to say what I need to say. He goes, no, don't do it. So I was like, all right, you know her better. I just won't. So I didn't get what I need to say. She didn't accept. And I was like, you know what? I should have just said what I needed to say. Like I should have just said, it doesn't matter if she heard it, if she was receptive to it. I got to say how I felt. I got to say what I've been dying to say to her. So now there's literally things left unsaid between us. And I'm like, oh, if only I just said it to her. Like I wouldn't be feeling this way. So if you do get the chance to tell him how you feel, take it and run with it, because it's only going to affect you in the long run, because forgiveness is not for the other person. It's always going to be for you. And as long as they hold that, as long as he knows for a fact, like, you know what, haha, I didn't go to his wedding, to his now wife, he knows that bothers you. That's still power you gave him, that he makes you feel negatively. And it's like, no one should have that power to feel negatively, not even family members. So if you have the opportunity to like say, you know what, this is how you made me feel. I don't really care if it hurts your feelings, because the amount of times you've hurt me is nothing compared to this. Like, this is how I made you feel. This is how it is. Like, blah, 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 blah. And you have the opportunity to do that. Please just take it, because for yourself, not for anybody else, but like for you, please take that.
Yeah, it's something that weighs heavy at times. It's kind of in and out, the feeling. This part of me just wants to get on a goddamn plane and go to Vegas and get, and see him face to face and like, yo, like we need to we need to sit down man to man. Like, I ain't gonna beat the hell out of you or nothing, but I might beat you down with some words and some stuff you don't want to hear. And, I haven't told anybody.
Sometimes you need to take that. Sometimes you need to show endorsement, be like, hey, we're talking.
No, it's true. I haven't said this publicly to anybody, but I'll tell you, because I feel so comfortable, we're talking here.
Oh, I'm honored.
I actually did try to call. I left them a message on Thanksgiving. It was just a very polite, it was out of my character, because years ago I was in a different places before all the weight loss and all this stuff, and I was a very negative, bitter person. And I called and I left a message and I said, look, I just, it's Thanksgiving. I just want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. You got my number. It's on your little ID now, because I know he didn't pick it up, and this is a different number that he knows. And I was like, you know what? You have the number. If you want to call, that's cool. If you don't, that's cool too. But I just wanted to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. And I have not heard anything yet, but I told my mother, actually, we were talking. I'm like, the new Gary, or the newer Gary in the last couple of years, is like all about killing people with kindness. I had this other idea where it's like, maybe I should just call him on every single holiday and wish him the best.
Wish him a merry, yeah.
You should. That might piss him off more, actually.
Seeds. You're planting the seeds. No, you're planting the seeds.
Yeah.
You are, because everyone's like, you're being petty, and I said, no, I'm not. I said, I'm planting the seeds for them to eventually realize, like, this was not hurting them. This was literally just me being like, listen, regardless, like, Merry Christmas, or regardless, this and this, and like, regardless, this and this. I said, it has nothing to do with it. Like, I have to answer to myself. When I die, like, I don't want my book to be like, well, she was petty and she had the opportunity to be the bigger person, and she still chose to be petty. And like, I don't want that to be my life. Like, I want them to be like, you know what? She always took the high road. So I love that you did that. Honestly, I love that you did that. There's so much freedom in just doing that.
Yeah. And plus I'm kind of past the point of like really like caring at this point, like what he thinks about it. I'm just like, you know what? If he takes it in a good way, he takes it in a good way. If he takes it in a wrong way, so be it. But at least I did it. And, it's helping me to sleep at night, because there were some nights where I didn't sleep well, but I don't want to monopolize the whole conversation with this. I'll tell you and anybody else that wants to hear it. I did a whole podcast about this, episode 31. So if you or anybody else wants to check it out, you can hear the whole story there and all that
Absolutely.
stuff. But
I'll definitely check it out there. Yeah.
And that podcast just went to another place, huh?
It's all good. It's all good. I mean, hey, like we don't know what we're getting into these things. It could be. I think this is great.
Yeah. No, I think we've had some good conversation here. So tell me about like how things are now, because you said you're a couple of months in and you're doing your thing. So how do you feel like right now about the process?
I'm actually very happy you asked me about that. I'm actually very happy with it, because old Kaitlyn would have been like, I don't see any progress. I don't see anything. Oh my gosh. Like, what's the worst? Like, I'm still this weight, even though and I check my inches now. And what my body decided to do was my body likes to lose inches before it drops to pounds. And, everybody is different. So what I've learned to do is to trust the process. And I had my first cheat meal, I want to say last Friday. And let me tell you, cheat meals are not for everyone. I got so sick from it. Like, it sat in my stomach, and I just couldn't go to the bathroom, and I was miserable. I was like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Like,
what was the cheat meal?
It was, oh my God. I guess all of Long Island, we just want to make everybody fat. Like, I'm serious, because that's our main goal. Like, obesity. Yes. Like, oh my gosh, it is called a burger. The place is called Burgeritos, and their specialty is a burgerito, which is a burger with fries in a burrito.
Oh, dude.
Yes.
Sounds so good.
With this Chipotle heavenly sauce that you could cover your body in and be happy with. Like, I shit you not. Like, you could be like, yes. Like, oh my gosh, the sauce is phenomenal. So with that being said,
Jesus Christ.
I had that for lunch, because I work at a rink at the Bethpage Ice Rink as a rink guard. I've been skating for I want to say since I was 4, 29 now. So I skate with, I'm the only female rink guard with a bunch of guys from 18 to about 29, my age. So we're like, we're gonna do food. We're gonna do food. And I was like, well, what are you guys doing? They're like, burgerito. I'm like, all right, bet. I'm starving. I'm down. So my friend goes, well, aren't you eating clean? And I was like, I'm allowed to have a cheat meal. Okay. No, I should have listened to him. I should have listened to him because I ate that burgerito. First of all, I couldn't even eat the whole thing. I got like
Dude.
5 bites in, and I was just like, oh my God, I think I'm going to regret this decision. And it was like, oh, every bite I tried taking, I was like, please don't make me take another bite. I felt like Dumbledore when Harry Potter was giving him please, sir, one more drink. And he's like, no more, Harry, no more. That was me. I was like, no more, no more, no more. And I got to that point. I was like, I can't eat this anymore. I'm going to be sick. And it just was like lead in my stomach.
I just looked them up on Yelp, and I can't tell if I'm looking at Yelp reviews or pornography. Like, I don't know what's happening here. Good Lord.
It's food porn. I know. It is burgeritas, but their fish tacos are really good.
I can clearly see this now, Kaitlyn. This is
yeah.
You know, I don't eat a lot of this stuff, like in terms of, I mean, I still have, you know, some stuff here and there, but I don't have like the compulsive, like, you know, cravings like I used to have, and then taking the action on those. But I can look at these photos and appreciate these photos. That I can do.
Yeah, I mean, Long Island kids, like, they have a knack for food and taking good food pictures. So
I need to get my ass up there to try this, though. I'm no joke, man.
Well,
wow.
If you're going to come to Long Island, I'm going to bring you to this bomb Filipino place. You're not going to have, like, you could have burgeritos, but I'm going to bring you to a bomb Filipino place with really good, authentic Filipino food. So that's where you're going to go. Like, you could have your burgeritos, but like, you have to come to this Del Greco place with me.
Okay.
That's where I'll bring you there.
Fair deal.
You have pizza. I don't know if you like pizza, but
I was actually on a no pizza. This is going to be heard in 2020. So by now I've probably had a slice of pizza, but for all of 2019, I had no pizza, no chocolate, no alcohol. I went 1 year. It was a 1 year challenge without all of these things. And so the funny thing is that I didn't really like miss any of these things. Like, my wife would taunt me, like, you know, oh, I've got some chocolate, I've got some pizza, and it wouldn't work. Yeah, no, it wouldn't work. And it was one of the most interesting challenges I ever took on. It's crazy.
I have to say, this whole mindset, this whole transformation has been such a blessing towards me, because I don't crave. Like, I have a very big sweet tooth, like a very strong sweet tooth. Like, I love sweets.
Yeah.
I have not craved ice cream. I haven't craved chocolate. I haven't craved anything that I would binge eat at nighttime because I was bored.
Right.
Like, I don't, like, if I'm bored, I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to go lay down then. And I'll, like,
time to go to
journal.
bed.
Yeah, I'll journal, or I'll look up my workout routines for the next day, or I'll, you know, do some research on, like, how to properly do this movement, because I just don't think I'm doing it right. And then within 5 minutes, I'm like already sleeping. So it's like, it's not bored. You're not hungry. You're just bored. And it's like, okay, now I can distinguish hungry versus bored. And like, I now, when I'm going out to people, they're like, what do you want? I'm like, listen, I said, what I eat, I said, you guys won't like. I said, so pick a place, guaranteed I will find something that I like. And I've always, and they're like, no. I'm like, trust me, I'm not a picky eater. I will find a healthy alternative, or I will make it a healthy alternative for me. Don't worry about me, please. And
right.
I'm like, okay. And sure enough, we went to this place. I guess it's Burger Shack, Shake Shack.
Oh, yeah, they're pretty good.
So we just got some on Long Island. We've never had them here before.
Really?
And yeah, we got that. We got PDQ, which is like a southern, almost like a Chick-fil-A. We got Chick-fil-A up here finally. And like Burgerology, which is some like weird burger spot. But yeah, we just started getting like all the cool. We got a Sonic. I remember when we first got our Sonic here. It was like the world ended. It was like like everybody on Long Island went to the one Sonic that we had, and it's like your mother, your great grandmother, your ancestors, the people who died rose up from their graves just to try the Sonic. Like, it was mayhem. Like, I refused to go down that road for months, because I was like, I'm gonna get stuck in the Sonic traffic, and I'm not about that life today. Like, not about. And Sonic is not even that good.
No,
it's not even that good. So I was like, what is going on? Like, you guys are all freaking out for like fast food that you're gonna get over within 6 months. So I'm a little confused, but Okay.
I will give them this. Their desserts are not too bad. They have a decent amount of variety with their desserts, but the sandwiches are overrated. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very overrated.
The slushies are pretty legit though. Or at one point I would say give me the Route 44 sweet tea, and Big Gary would tear that shit up like it was no tomorrow.
When I lived in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, I didn't know what sweet tea was, and then when I moved to Gettysburg for a year, I found out what sweet tea was. That shit was in my car all the time. It was bad. It was bad. I would go back to New York and they'd be like, "What's sweet tea?" And I'm just like, "You don't know what sweet tea is?" Like it was like, oh my gosh, like Kaitlyn, you're still from Long Island. You're only in school in Pennsylvania. Relax. Like you're not even South. Like relax.
Yeah, Pennsylvania's not really South. I mean, it's South to where you
were.
What are you
doing? Like relax, Kaitlyn. You're not in Georgia. Like stop.
I'll tell you what, people in the South though, I my wife's got family down in Charleston, South Carolina, and people in the South, man, they know how to cook their food, and they know how to make some good ass sweet tea, and just some of the nicest people, like even the people that worked fast food, because me of 3 or 4 years ago, I used to eat a lot of that fast food, and these people, man, they're just so damn kind down there. Like, man, but you talk about killing people with kindness. They were ultra kind, and these people couldn't have been making more than $6 an hour, and they were just so damn happy to be there. They were so pleasant to deal with.
Oh yeah, I went to visit my aunt in North Carolina, and they have a Krispy Kreme down there, which I've never had before.
What?
So I was like, when in Rome? So I got up really early just to go surprise some Krispy Kremes.
When in Rome.
I walk in, and like I'm used to like if you come to Long Island and you don't know what you want, somebody's huffing and puffing in back of you. Someone's foot's going. Someone's gonna let you know that you're prohibiting them from moving forward with their day.
Oh my God!
So, yeah. So there are some people like that. I'm not one of them. Like I'm like, take your time, make me late for work. That's fine. Like I don't care. Like please, like do you? Like I get it, no problem. And so like I didn't know what I wanted from Krispy Kreme, and there was a line for me, and I look around. I'm like, I'm so sorry, guys, and they're like, oh honey, it's fine. We don't even know what we want. I'm just like, what? I'm like, excuse me? They're like, yeah, take your time. We don't even know what we want. Like, take your time. It's all good. And I'm like, are you sure you don't want to go? She's like, sweetie, it's fine. I was like, holy shit. Like, are you going to kill me afterwards? Like, are you going to stab me in the back and be like, this is for taking so long, Krispy Kreme, bitch? Like, I was so confused. I was mortified. So I'm just like watching my back, like following her with my eyes, like making sure she's not following me. But she was just being nice. So I was like, okay.
You're a fucking riot. Can I just tell you this? You're a fucking riot. I love this. This is great.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
It's just me.
that is I just the what you thought was going to go down in North Carolina. That's just crazy. You thought they were going to kill you.
I'm like, they're going to find my Long Island girl murdered visiting aunt in North Carolina, getting Krispy Kremes for family. Do you see the trail of donuts behind me? Like, what the hell? Like, I just saw my whole life, and I was like, all right, well, let me make sure my shirt's tucked in. So at least when the camera goes. Let me at least tuck my shirt in. So, I was look a little more skinnier when there's a close up on my dead body. It was just really funny. I was like, I was very scared until I realized like they're just being very nice down there. I was like, okay. I'm not used to it. I'm used to like the sarcastic kindness of Long Islanders, or like there was something going around Facebook that I was hysterical at because it's so true.
Yeah.
And it's like by the third, because New Yorkers have a way, like if you're telling us a story, we'll say, that's crazy. That's crazy. By the third, it's crazy. It means like wrap your fucking story up. So I saw that and I was hysterical because there's so many times where I'm like, that's crazy. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. That's legitimately crazy. And I'm like, oh man, like I'm so guilty of doing that. And I feel so bad. So I'm like, oh man, like us Long Islanders, we really are some shitheads, but like we're cool people.
I've never been on Long Island before. I've been into the city probably 4 or 5 times, give or take, but I've never actually been on Long Island. That's where you grew up? That's where you were born, Long Island?
I was actually born in Manhattan. I lived in Rosedale, Queens, and then moved out to Long Island.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I think part of the reason why I talk so fast is because I was born in the city that never sleeps.
Yeah.
So, and if you ask anybody from the Bronx, or Brooklyn or Queens or in Manhattan, they'll say, yeah, we talk fast because we live in the city that never sleeps. Just like that.
Yeah, the couple times I've been up there, I don't think it's for everybody up there, but like for me, it's a vibe. Like when I get up there, I feel the energy. Like, I don't want to ever live there, but I can, like, I get kind of in the groove of it for the day or so that I'm up there. And I'm all about it. Like for the day or two I might be in there, I'm all about it. I love coming up there. My wife, she does not. We actually went up there for our New Year's. It was actually the New Year's right before I started my journey. It was 2016, December. We were up there and it was a madhouse. Have you ever gone there for the New Year's?
Oh yeah, I did. I went there for 2018. I'm going there again for the 2020 ball drop. I don't know what, I'm sorry, 2018 I went for the ball drop. 2020 now I'm going for this ball drop. I am not thrilled about it because I don't like crowds. We're going with the military because my mom's she did get injured on her last tour, so she's homeless, so she goes with the Wounded Warrior Project.
Yeah.
And they give you opportunities to go see the ball drop and go see the lighting of the tree, and just like, so when I first went in 2018, it wasn't so bad because I met Ryan Seacrest. I actually have.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'll put up a picture on my Instagram soon. You'll see like flashback to 2018 when I met Ryan Seacrest. Like you'll see that picture.
Please do.
I actually had him hysterical. I made a comment and he looked at me and he started hysterically laughing, and I caught it as a picture. So like that's one of my favorite pictures ever. To make Ryan Seacrest laugh. So
well, now I have to pretend like I've already seen it because this is airing in 2020. So hey, yeah, that was an awesome picture you posted, Kaitlyn. I loved it. And you know what? I bet you had a great time in Times Square for New Year's, didn't you? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
It's gonna be mayhem. You'll see. I'll live stream for you guys. It's all good.
Yes.
When they see it, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I did see that." So she wasn't.
We can live vicariously through you on the New Year's.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not for everybody. It's called the concrete jungle for a reason. It is not made for everybody. If you did not grow up in New York City or Long Island, and you try to move here, you're probably not going to last more than a year. Unfortunately,
yeah,
it is a very, very, very hectic place. If like. I know plenty of people who moved from California here and then they move back. I have a friend here who moved from poor soul. She moved from Oregon and she came here and she was like, what did I get myself into? And I was like, I don't know. Like she's doing well. Because luckily she has family here. So they kind of walked her through it. But if you're not from here, if you were not born here and you tried to make it living here, you got to have a strong backbone. Like you have to like not be so sensitive, because us New Yorkers, we mean well. Like if you were ever lost, we would help you out, no problem. Like we would make sure you made it to your destination safely. We wouldn't let anybody touch you. But if you catch us on a bad day, like you're gonna get a bad attitude. That's like that's enough to put somebody be like, oh my God, what did I do? Like it's enough to be like, oh no.
I'll tell you, yeah, I've encountered some very nice people up there. Philly's a different story. I've gone into Philly a couple times for like cheesesteaks, and the people are something else. Let me tell you.
Where'd you go for cheesesteaks? Where'd you go for a cheesesteak?
I went to Pat's.
You need to go to Tony Luke's. Man.
I've been to Tony Luke's. No, hold on. Before you beat me down about which one is best or whatever.
Wait, hold on. Have you been to Ishkabibbles then?
No, I've not been there.
Okay, so then we can't really compare yet. You have to go to Ishkabibbles.
That's like a deep cut. I have a feeling it's like, it's not like one of those songs you hear on the radio. You're talking like a deep album cut of whatever this place is.
Ishkabibbles, yeah. I think it's a fish song. Actually, I think it's a song of maybe fish song, something like that. But they have like this really good drink. But if we're gonna talk Philly cheesesteaks, we have to have all three, and then we can have an actual.
Okay, fair enough. No, I've been to. I've been to Geno's and Pat's, of course, the two that are. Although I think Pat's absolutely murders Geno's, like no question. Tony Luke's, though, I like because I felt they were very generous with their whiz, and I'm a big whiz guy. And then I had D'Alessandro's. I had a local Philly guy tell me go to D'Alessandro's. I was not crazy about them. So, and I went to Jim's and I liked them. But Tony Luke's is legit. I have been there at least 2 or 3 times and I did like them.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to try the places you just listed, because I definitely want to try them to make an actual like which one is better now.
Yes,
this is legit a thing for everybody who's listening. This is gonna be a legit thing.
Yes,
I'm gonna make this happen. Like I'm gonna plan a trip to Philly and be like take a picture and be like, this is where I am, and I'll let you know how it goes.
Hey, we could do a cheesesteak tour. I mean, what do you think about that?
We should.
That'd be
I'm
wild.
down. I'm down. I love food.
I do too.
But like, I've learned to have it in moderation.
Of course. Yeah. You know, I've lost some weight. You've lost some weight, but you know, we can still have moments or times where we can enjoy ourselves. You don't have to completely cut yourself off from everything, because if you do, you're going to end up binging a lot of this stuff. So it's like, you know what?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, definitely. I think that's where a lot of people fall is, you know, they tell themselves, I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't eat that. I can't. And if you tell yourself you can't eat it, like, you're going to binge and be like, you know what? I can't eat this. Like, aha. And it's like, you're only hurting yourself. And it's like, I stopped doing that. Like, oh, I can't eat this. I'm just like, okay, Kaitlyn, you could have it, but remember the last time you had it, you didn't feel good. And I'm just like, oh yeah, the stomach pain's not worth that Hershey Kiss. Like,
yeah,
that's where I've been. I'm like, okay, like, that's where I am. Instead of, also my therapist like told me, she's like, don't be so hard on yourself. She's like, talk to yourself sometimes as like a little child. Like, how would you address yourself as a little child? Like, if you had a child, you wouldn't be like, no, don't do that harshly. You'd be like, no, how did you feel last time? Do you remember how you felt? So that's how I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, instead of being so negative and hard on myself, I'm like, all right, like, you had the Hershey Kiss. Like, how do you feel? Not good. Okay, well, remember that next time you want the Hershey Kiss. And I'm like, okay, no problem. And now I remember, all right, don't eat the Hershey Kiss, not feeling good.
yeah, exactly. So we talked about kind of where you're at now and kind of where you're feeling. So we're in that new year. This is that time where everybody starts, you know, hyping up a bunch of goals and everything else. But I mean, realistically, like, you know, where do you kind of see yourself? What are you going to be working on for like the next 3 to 5 years? Like, what are some of your goals long term here?
Get that veteran dream on the balls. Like, start that shit rolling.
Yes.
I'm gonna be 30. I'm gonna be 30 in July. July 11th, y'all. Free Slurpee Day.
Whoa. Stop. Hold on. Stop right there. One more time and give me the slow Kaitlyn voice. What did you say your birthday was?
July 11th, Free Slurpee Day.
July 11th, 1990?
1990. Yep.
That is my wife's exact birthday.
Shut up!
I swear to God.
Stop!
I swear to freaking God, that is her actual legitimate birthday. Like, when you said that, I had to like do a double take. Like, yo.
So your wife and I would probably get along very well.
Oh yeah, because she has you know, she's like you, she'll tell like it is. She don't give a fuck. And actually, she's on the gram. She's taking a little break right now.
Oh yeah, I follow her.
Okay,
I
boom.
I saw that. I didn't want to shoot her a message because she didn't really know me. I didn't want to be like, hey, don't know you, but I'm here for you. Because she'd be like, what the hell? But I was like, maybe after I talk to Gary, I could be like, hey, hope you're doing well.
Yeah. Now we've had some communication. You can definitely hop in the DMs and be like, yo, what's up? But yes, you guys have the exact birthday. When you said that, like, my jaw hit the fucking floor. I was like, wait a minute. This is not a drill.
Crazy.
Wow. Okay. So before I derailed you, you said I'm turning 30 years old. It's Free Slurpee Day, and continue. Sorry.
No, it's all good. Look at that. I like how the universe just brings people together. Look at that.
Isn't this wild?
Wild. I love it though. This is the thrill that I live for. Like, old Kaitlyn would have been like, oh, really? Like, now I'm just like, yes, another July birthday. I'm thrilled about life. Like, it's ridiculous. 2020, I'm ready for it. Like,
hell yeah.
Yes. So what I want to get accomplished in the next 3 to 5, 6 years is I want to get that veterans dream up and rolling. And if I can't get it like there yet, I want to get at least some doors open to where I need to be to get that process going.
Right.
And I'll get there. I think once I find a knack for 2020, then I'll be able to, like, everything will start flowing in, like, falling into place. That's what I believe, because recently, for the last 2 months, 3 months of 2019, everything started falling into place with Kayla, you know, with my weight loss journey, with my, you know, with me growing in life and as a person, that all just kind of fell into place. So I can only believe and hope that for the next, 3-5 years, like, everything's going to start falling into place for the next upcoming decade.
Oh yeah, definitely. Once you start getting one thing going, the rest kind of, it just falls right into place.
I think I just need to talk to the right people, and I just need to have, like, the right support behind me, which I think I found. Because even when I first found the weight loss community, I wasn't, like, I've had my my Finstagram, like now it's my fitness journey, but like it was at Finstuff at first. I followed like a lot of weight loss journeys, like Lexi and Danny,
Yep.
and the Iron Giantess. I followed her for a while, and like different people, and Obese to Beast. I followed him for a bit, and I wasn't really on it. I was on my personal Instagram. And then now that I'm like in this whole new mindset and like into this whole new community, and like I found myself into the weight loss community, talking to you, talking to Willie, Kayla, like finding friends, like Chelsea and Danny, Lara, like from like Danny Punk's life, meeting them and talking to them and having them by my side, and just like, it's just like, wow, like holy cow, I was missing out on a whole nother family that I didn't know existed because I didn't deserve to have them in my life yet.
Yeah.
And like now that it's like I'm on a whole new mental level and a whole new journey, it's like I feel like, you know what, I do deserve them to have in my life, because I'm not going to take away from their goals. Like I'm only adding to their goals because I'm pushing them to follow them. So it's like I couldn't add to anybody's life because I would only take because of the mindset I was in. So how could I be blessed with the community when all I would have done is take from it instead of give? And now here I am, like giving everything I have into this community because like the support is just unbelievable.
Oh yeah. This community is just, this community definitely helped me so much without them even realizing. Like I found out about it, I got into it, and communicating with everybody, meeting everybody. I met a bunch of people this year, or I should say last year, because this is 2020 now, everybody.
Yeah.
In Cincinnati at the Flying Pig, met a bunch of people from this community, and like my heart is so full with these amazing people. It's so great to be able to connect with everybody.
Oh, absolutely. And I just see some of the couples, like Rocky and Dusty loses. Like I see them, the married couple, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like my heart's so full with them because like the way they motivate each other and the way they just love each other. I'm just like, oh my gosh. And then I see Kayla and Steph, and I'm like, I want what you guys have. Like it literally is just like that. But it's like I gotta focus on myself right now. So like eventually I'll get there, but like I'm gonna still just love myself till then, and my cats.
I bet you would not believe that we've gone nearly an hour and a half.
Wow.
So yeah. So
time flies when you're having fun.
You got that right. So here's what I'll do. This is something new I've just started on the podcast, and we'll end on this. Now, no cheating now. Do not look at your phone and open up Instagram, but I'm doing this new thing where I'm scrolling back to your very first post on Instagram. Now, do you remember, or do you have an idea of what that first post might have been?
Healing.
Yes. So you know exactly. So I'll read people. This is a meme that you posted. It says, "We see you trying to heal. We are rooting for you. Don't quit." And then you put the definition of healing and talked about why you created this Instagram. But tell me about this meme and what that means to you.
Healing. I, for a long time, would refuse to take the proper steps to self-care, the proper steps to actually give myself time to heal from wounds that were caused from myself, from the past, from the present, from people. And I'm the type of person that, I don't want you to see me cry, because if you see me cry, you'll know I'm weak, and I'm not weak. But it's like, with strength comes weakness. And, there's going to be times where your strength is not going to be enough to carry you alone. And if you don't take the proper steps to healing after battle, or taking the time to heal after, whatever situation was going on, you're going to go into the next battle bruised, broken, if not worse, and even more like injured. You're going to keep going even weaker.
Yes.
And when I saw that, I was like, all right, I'm doing this to heal from everything that I've done to myself. For all the bullshit I put myself in for 29 years, all the things that I've been so hard on myself on. Like, I've never given myself fully time to heal from that, from the scars that I've created, from the scars that my biological father left me. So with that whole meme, that was just like, all right, if I post this, I'm going to have to start living by this. And once I posted, I was like, okay, it was just like a breath of fresh air. I was like, okay, I'm going to start now healing, and it's going to be hurt. It's going to hurt. Like, my foundation is going to be rocked. I'm going to be putting myself out of a box that I put myself in for so long. But in order for me to really start this healing process, like, I need to take a leap of faith. And I
Yeah.
did. I did exactly that. And I haven't looked back. It's been a whirlwind of a healing process. There have been some times where I wanted to, like, just cry and, like, curl up in a ball, because the emotions of, like, just trying to figure things out, because life, like, when you're doing so well, there are gonna be enemies. There are gonna be people speaking things into your life for you to fail. And it's like, you may not see them, you may not know that they're doing it, but you could definitely feel it when you start feeling weak. And all those days that I started feeling weak, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take a step back and I'm gonna start to heal. And I would take a bubble bath, I would play with my kitten, I would put on Netflix, I would burn candles, I would read the Bible if I needed some spiritual guidance. It just, the simple things that I used to do as a child to heal from, like, fighting with my mom, or, like, after a long day of school, I started doing again. And it just really helped the process of, like, okay, I'm taking self-care now, which is healing. Okay, so I'm going to do this for 45 minutes because I need it. So that's pretty much the healing. The whole healing concept was me learning how to incorporate self-care into this journey, and how to not have those wounds keep opening up.
Yeah.
There's always going to be people that are going to, hit a nerve, but, like, if I let that wound open up, then that's not saying much. If I let some person rip open a wound, then I spend so long healing, it's not saying much. So, like, I now just take my time to really focus on the healing and, like, prepare myself, like, this situation is going to arise again. This is how you're going to handle it. And then I do. The situation will come up again, and I'll handle it the way I said I was going to. And it was just like, okay, now that's one wound that did not get opened again, so we can keep moving forward.
100%. I love it. God, I love it. That's a great way to wrap it up. But before we go, tell the people where to find you on Instagram.
At a girl named K_. Simple and sweet, just like me.
I love that. And now look here, I'm going to address these listeners, these people that dare listen to this podcast. Listen to me very closely. If y'all don't go on Instagram right now and follow this woman and follow this journey, I mean, you've clearly listened for the last hour and a half. You're hearing what we're saying right now. Like, you can hear the amazing person that she is, and you just need to jump on this right now. A swipe up, because if you're on an iPhone, you're already cool. Swipe up to the home screen, hit Instagram, hit follow, and just get it done. I mean, if you're on Instagram, if you're on Android, it's all right. I mean, it's fine. But get on the Instagram.
You're the green bubble people.
Dude, all right. Yeah, we're going to be Apple Watch buddies. So we're going to be blue bubbles all day long. All day. But go follow her right now. She's fantastic. She's given me an hour and 25 minutes of her time, and that is not easy for anyone to do, because our time is very valuable. And I want you to know, as we close up here, how much I really appreciate the time that you've given and just the story that you've shared. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. It was an honor to talk to you, and I'm really glad we got to actually officially talk, because I know I followed you before you actually followed me, and I was like, oh, I was checking out your podcast and I was following your journey, and then, I'm glad we got to connect, and thank you for letting me share my journey. I really appreciate it.
Well, here's the thing with that too, like, because people, they'll pop in and they follow, and it's like, if I don't, it's so weird, because, like, so many people, like, you don't know if they're following to spam you or sell you stuff. And I never, looking at your page now, I never get that vibe or whatever, but, like, I don't generally pop back to somebody just because I've been burned so many times with salesmen or the people that, like, pretend that they want to be your friend and they're actually selling. And right. I'm at the point now where, like, unless people send me a DM or like leaving comments, so I know that they're not a spam person, then I'll follow them back. But I'm glad that we got connected, in 2020 is one of my things, because I'm introverted. I tend to, like, be very reserved at times, and in 2020 I'm working on that, and I'm going to try to be more outgoing and try to reach out to more people, and so that way I can find out about cool people like you and not have to wait however many months you knew about me first, and start this really cool friendship. So again, I'm just very thankful for this time that we've had, and you're definitely coming back again. Even if you're like, I never want to come back on this podcast again, I'll beg you.
I'll bring a cheesesteak to you.
I would love to do this again. You are one cool dude, and the fact that your wife and I have the same birthday, bro, we're connected for life. I'm sorry, you're stuck with me.
That's it. Hey, that's
you're
it.
stuck with me now. July 11th, we set.
I don't have a problem with that. It sounds good to me. And my God, have your dinner. Enjoy your dinner. I know we talked. That was one of the first things we talked about. You're like, oh yeah, I'll have it here or whatever.
It's not even here yet. My cats are watching some bug fly in my apartment, so it's not even here yet.
It's been an hour. It's been an hour and a half, and your dinner's not there yet. I would fire those people.
It's all good. I'm not in a rush because I got to talk to you and I have to do laundry. So it's all good. My Thursday was going to be this anyway. So again, I'm really glad. I'm honored that you asked me to be on this podcast, and I'm glad we got to talk, and I'm glad we got to know each other. And I look forward to our friendship. I do.
Definitely. Same here. Thank you so much. And we will talk very soon. I'm about to hit that DM so we can see what's up with this Apple Watch thing.
Absolutely. Sounds good.
Oh, man. What a chat. What a show. That might be one of the best ones yet. I'm telling you right now. I say that about every single show, but that one was really good. Make sure you follow her on Instagram. Make sure you check her out. What a chat. I'm out of here for now. We're going to go ahead and close this bitch down for the week. Patreon.com/Gary Cantrell. That's the best way to support the show. Of course, the iTunes reviews. Don't get me started on that. And hardworkalwayswins.com. That's my merch. Use the code podcast for 10% off at checkout. And we'll see you guys next week.